U.S. Attorney's Office General Mailbox is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Guess I'll leave this message on the general mailbox. Keep getting sent to Bob Norman's voicemail. Bob just doesn't like to return voicemails. This is Matt Reardon. I'm outside of the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Oxford. I would like to speak with Bob Norman. I would like to do it the easy way, the non-invasive, non-intrusive way. But outside of that, and deposing, I don't know. There's been some new evidence that surfaced. I need to speak with Bob about this. I need to ask him direct questions. Not trying to cause any problems. Trying to do my due diligence here. I noticed on y'all's website, y'all have a victim witness forum. And different rights for victims and witnesses. Right now, I feel like my rights are being heavily violated in regards to that. Nobody at this office has yet to even speak to me in regards to the evidence. I need somebody to speak to me. Nobody wants to do it willingly. I'll deploy all the reporting gear, and we can just have a news conference out here. But I would like to have a cool, calm, and collected discussion. A news conference out here. But I would like to have a cool, calm, and collected discussion. I'm live on scene at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Mississippi. I need to speak with Bob Norman. Blowhard Bob, Assistant U.S. Attorney Bob Norman.
Well, I'm still trying to get to the bottom of everything. It's been fraudulent concealment. You know you guys are holding on to something they're not giving up.
This is how you petition the government for a redress of grievances. So I'm out here because I've been getting the runaround. A lot of bullshit fed to me. Bob has been ducking the buck. His responsibilities as a assistant U.S. attorney. Bob played a pretty big part in what happened in 2017. How big of a part he played, I guess we're going to find out. Okay? But recently, there's been a shocker of evidence. I need Bob to talk to me. Bob doesn't like to talk to me. Me and Bob don't really get along too well. But I want to have a cool, calm, and collected conversation with Bob. Let me turn this camera around, okay? I've got my cameraman right there. That thing follows me around. So I just called up there about 15 minutes ago. I was once again sent to his voicemail. Of course, he didn't answer. And so I called back, and I called back. No answer, no answer, no answer. And they sent me the general voicemail. Left a voicemail in the general voicemail saying that we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. It doesn't matter. Okay? We can do it with the newsreel set, put up in the car, recorders off, just a private conversation. Or we can do it the more difficult way, which involves all my reporting gear coming out. Recorders, cameras, the whole 9 yards. Bob needs to talk to me. I doubt seriously Bob's going to catch me on Facebook. And actually, I'm quite surprised. I'm quite surprised that I'm even able to get on Facebook. It's funny that Facebook and Twitter and all that, I've gotten some of the most unfair treatment on social media. For whatever reason, there was a social media platform that and I don't know if it was YouTube, I don't know if it was Facebook or Twitter, but nonetheless, one of them falsely labeled me as QAnon. Facebook went on the offensive and Twitter went on the offensive to remove QAnon accounts. I've never been a part of QAnon. Never. If the things that have happened to me just automatically group me into that category, and they must be spot on about some things. I'm gonna sit on these steps right here. And we're just gonna chill for a second. So, I guess I've tried to reach out to Bob several times to find the answer to this. On the U.S. Attorney website for the Northern District of Mississippi with the Department of Justice, it's got a grievance form. They've got a program for victims and witnesses to not only protect them, but to ensure that they get adequate legal defense, or not defense, legal counsel, that their grievance gets heard and doesn't get gaffed off. And this entire time, the Department of Justice has put their middle finger up in the air to me. Bob Norman might as well have put his middle finger up in the air to me. Bob Norman, actually back in 2017, May of 2017, I went to Bob with a specific grievance. I put my trust in him because it was conveyed to me that there was illicit activity going on involving a trust fund getting skimmed. Not to mention, I had a death threat that was issued to me. And even worse, Robin Tannehill, the then socialist mayor of Oxford, had taken out an emergency restraining order on me, which prevented me from speaking at City Hall on June 6th. I was listed on the agenda to petition the government for redress of grievances right after Joe East, who was then the police chief of Oxford, who now is the Lafayette County Sheriff. By the way, this whole ordeal, everything over the last 4 years, is exactly the reason why there needs to be term limits that need to be established and need to be enforced on all public positions of trust. This is a perfect example why. You can't tell me that a sheriff sitting in office for 46 years doesn't have enough power and sway to make anything happen. So the reason why I'm here is Liz Crowder had long, and I had forgotten all about it, but Liz Crowder had long claimed that a Cora Norman was her adopted grandmother. Well, one of Cora and Bill's children just so happened to apparently be Bob Norman, which would mean that Cory Crowder, Liz's dad, would have essentially grown up and technically brother of Bob Norman. And Bob had me sit down with the FBI due to the threats that were on me. He had me sit down with the FBI on May 25th, 2017. They realized I was no threat and that I actually had legit threats on me. I conveyed that I had purchased a weapon on May 20th to protect myself and my family in case the threats actually panned out. And next day, ambushed on the square, locked away, key thrown out for 6 weeks' time. About a week and a half before the mayor was elected, until a week to the day, 7 days after she was sworn into office. At that time, they pushed a part of the plea that they had rammed down my throat, had coerced me on, involved signing a banishment from the city and county for 5 years, agreeing to a covenant to not sue the city of Oxford, Lafayette County, the sheriff's department, and essentially it fucked my life all up in pieces. Not just mine, but my kids, and has royally screwed my life up since. And all I've asked is somebody in a position of authority to take their damn job seriously. In particular, Bob Norman. How do you come in and assist with something in the beginning and know the facts and then let the guy get railroaded, let the guy get screwed over, and then want to turn bitch? Excuse my language, I'm a little bit pissed off today. I want some answers from some people that can do something and be part of the solution and not part of the furthered problem. The sheriff's department, Lafayette County, is part of the continued problem. I'm not a threat. Even to this day, when I lost all my opportunity, I have fought like hell for my rights and for other people's. And these filthy alphabet agencies want to characterize me as I'm doing something wrong. That's what I get the impression of, at least. Bob Norman had me spinning my gears today. If they would just give me an email address for Bob, I could send him a nice email. They won't even give me an email address for him. How is that? A government email address. Not even his personal email address. Okay? I asked for his government email address and they won't even give me that. He didn't pay for it. I don't wish to provide that.
Any phone number for you?
No, sir. I didn't realize it was illegal to come up to government property and to report. I did nothing wrong coming up here to report. I was framed for a crime I couldn't possibly have committed back in May of 2017. The FBI destroyed a record, 302 report. Bob Norman was part of it. This is ridiculous. Man, I came up here to report. I'm on government property. I mean, like, Bob Norman's been ducking me. They've been sending me straight to his voicemail. I came up here with a legitimate concern to petition the government for a redress of grievances. I'm on federal property. I was right there, wasn't causing a scene. I was sitting on those steps and I was telling my story. And this is beyond me that this could be considered illegal. I mean, is this a crime? Is this considered a crime? This is crazy. I'd like to get my attorney on the phone if I can't leave. Am I being detained? Am I being detained? Okay, so I'm free to go? If I'm not being detained, then I must be free to go.
I mean, you're free to go, but just hold on for a second.
Okay. Cops came up here. I wasn't causing any problems.
You get to go, okay? Like I said, they just don't want you on the property.
How do they not want me on the property when I've got a legitimate grievance? Nobody even talked to me.
Well, they called and talked to us, and they asked us to remove you off the property, so that's why we're here, okay?
Can I ask who called?
I don't know. Like I said, we got the call, they asked me to leave, so like I said.
Will that be in a report?
Yeah, it will be a report on that.
So I can't get the report and
Come out to PD anytime.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it'd be one thing if I was out here causing problems, but I had a legitimate grievance. I was sitting on the steps. I wasn't cussing. I wasn't being loud. I was framed for a crime I couldn't have committed back in 2017. Blowhard Bob in there, U.S. attorney, set me up. He had me sit down with the FBI. The FBI destroyed a report that proved my innocence, and he wanted to turn cold, straight pitch on me. He won't talk to me now, and it's like, what do you do? I mean, it's straight turn tyrannical here in Oxford. Marine Corps veteran, patriot, never did a thing to deserve any of that. And they want to demonize me for coming up here and trying to speak to the assistant U.S. attorney that I put my faith in back in 2017. This is ridiculous. I got you. I was just leaving anyways whenever you pulled up. I was honestly, I was quite shocked that this was actually that y'all were. Okay. All right, guys.
Right.
Take care. Hey, sir. Come back up.
Yeah.
I'm getting all of this on video. This shit's fucking nuts. I mean, fucking nuts. There he is. There's the guy that called in the report.
U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yes, ma'am. I was calling to see if the U.S. Attorney's Office had any comment for the First Amendment attack on a citizen yesterday outside of your office.
Okay, can you hold them up, please?
Sure.
Susan Bradley is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Mr. Bradley, my name is Matt Reardon. I was calling to see if the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District had any comment on the First Amendment assault. Assault on the First Amendment of a citizen simply coming up there to address a grievance yesterday afternoon. An employee of the U.S. Attorney's Office actually had the gall to call local PD and ask that he be escorted off the property. Wanted to see if you had any comment on that, if the Department of Justice is aware of the brutal attack on the First Amendment that happened yesterday. Please give me a call back at your earliest convenience. My number is 662-701-1510. 662-701-1510. Thank you.
U.S. Attorney's Office.
Yes, I got a missed call. I was actually leaving a voicemail for Mr. Bradley when I think he called through.
Okay, hold them up, please.
Susan Bradley is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Mr. Bradley, Matt Reardon, please give me a call back. I was leaving you a voicemail when you called. 662-701-1510. 662-701-1510.
U.S. Attorney's Office.
for I'd called yesterday for comment on the local police, Oxford Police, 2 days ago. I got a call back while I was leaving a voicemail message, and then I called right back and left another voicemail. Nothing anything back. I'm trying to identify a certain individual up there at your office that made the call. I've got it freeze framed. Who can I speak with to find the answers to my questions?
Okay, hold on, please.
Yes.
Sir, the acting U.S. attorney would not allow us to give you that information or give anyone that information out to.
Okay. I mean, is there anybody that can at least address the serious issues? There's been ethical concerns, conflict of interest raised on Bob Norman. That was the reason why I was up there in the first place. Is a familial tie that was brought to my attention, and simply for being up there on outside. I mean, it was on government property, federal property. Y'all are supposed to be steadfast to the federal Constitution. I have a production and media company. I mean, there are numerous violations of the First Amendment that occurred, and calling local police to have me removed from the property when I was never causing a disturbance. So nobody wishes to address that. I mean, I've got the guy's picture. The officer just never did get anybody's name, right, for whatever reason.
Okay. Hold on for just a moment, please.
Clay Joyner
is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Mr. Joyner, my name is Matt Reardon. I've got some serious issues with your office right now. There are ethical issues that are raised, conflict of interest in regards to Assistant U.S. Attorney Bob Norman, familial ties back to my ex, her adoptive grandparents, being Bob Norman's parents. I was simply trying to either have him negate that or take ownership of that when local PD was called to have me escorted off of the property. Being that I have a media and production company, and being that I'm a private citizen that came to petition the government for redress, there are numerous violations of the First Amendment that occurred 2 days ago. I'm prepared to file a complaint in district court. I've got it freeze-framed with the individual that appears to have been the one to call. Completely uncalled for. In fact, it was tyrannical. I'm looking for answers. I believe your office owes me some answers on that. Please give me a call back at your earliest convenience. 662-701-1510. 662-701-1510. This is absolutely unbelievably bizarre.
Hello, you have reached the Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General Investigations Division. To dial by last name, please press 1. To report what you believe to be wrongdoing by employees of the Department of Justice or within the Department of Justice or its programs, you may file your complaint by completing the online form at the Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General website at oig.justice.gov/hotline. To speak to someone, please press 2.
Office of the Inspector General.
Yes, ma'am. I was calling. I've got a major issue going on in Oxford, Mississippi.